Some breaking news to bring you, and it is one that we have been expecting, and that is the move for Paul Pogba on a free transfer he would sign a new contract at Old Trafford. It didn't materialise, and he ended up honouring that contract until the end of last season, became a free agent officially on July the 1st, and now have reached an agreement to sign him on a free transfer. Remember, Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain were both interested in signing Paul Pogba as well. There was even talk of a potential move to Manchester City, which would have rocked the world of football, wouldn't it? But he has decided to go back on a free transfer, medical expected on Saturday, and that's when he will formally sign that contract. So Pogba, almost a done deal.
A great game of lots of quality, but Arsenal certainly had more intent to win the game and fully deserved it, I felt.
It was a pretty tight game, wasn't it, Troy?
Yeah, it was, and I think Maresca summed it up there. Obviously, with the set pieces, that was it. But to me, just felt like Arsenal always had a threat, where Chelsea weren't that great going forward, and we're going to get into that in a minute.
Yeah. Wayne, you picked out a very interesting tactical battle in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I just felt that Reece James had a job to do today, and he was man marking Declan Rice, which, coming back from injury, is very difficult to do. And I felt he struggled all game. He's trying to put into play the role his manager has given him, but I think he struggled with it. And I think if we have a look at it here, so you look at Reece James and Declan Rice. So Reece is staying close to him. He should be where I've moved him back to here. But if you look at it here now, as it plays on, so Reece James is always thinking of Declan Rice. No other thought in his head. Here, look. Just here, he's not even looking at the ball. He vacates the middle of the pitch. Now, Declan Rice is very clever with his movements. You can see he's telling Partey to come into the space where Reece James should be. Thomas Partey comes into the space, receives the ball with no one near him, gets turned. But this was a theme all game, so nothing comes of this one here. But again, Reece James is just following Declan Rice around everywhere. So if you watch again here, Declan Rice now pulling Reece James out wide. Thomas Partey again coming into the space which Reece James leaves. Now you end up with Chelsea players getting moved all over the pitch. Thomas Partey gets the ball, turns, gets to the Chelsea back line. On another day, it's a real big opportunity for Arsenal. But this one was really interesting. If you look at Declan Rice and you look at Reece James and Jadon Sancho, his position here. So if you play it on, so what happens here is Reece James, all he has to do is communicate with Sancho, and Sancho can take Declan Rice, but he doesn't do that. Reece James follows him again, leaves a 34 yards. He's ran just to try and stay close to Declan Rice. Lewis Skelly sees that. He comes into the space. Now Jadon Sancho has to do more work to get back into the space. So Chelsea rotating out of possession, which is never good. Declan Rice has dragged Reece James out wide. But again here, if you watch Declan Rice, so Reece James has done all that work to get close to him, but then switches off. Declan Rice makes a good run forward, which he has been doing a lot over the last few weeks. Gets in a dangerous position, gets turned, pulls the ball back, and it's a good opportunity for Arsenal. So I just felt it was a job too big for Reece James to play.
Yeah, and then just to continue that with Reece James here with Moreno, obviously he should be tight. You're looking at Nkunku there. He should really be going, facing forward, trying anything short ball he has to go and get after. For some reason he decides to go back into the mess. Reece James just loses his man. Between the two of them, it goes in. But Wayne, you're not happy with the goalie, are you?
Yeah, I just think if you look at the goalkeeper, he's getting involved too much with all the other players, and now he's taking a backward step, which means he can't get the elevation to stop the ball going in the back of the net. I think if he allows himself and gives himself a little bit of space, even though there's bodies around him, then he's front-footed and potentially he might favour. Yeah,
that's a good spot, that. Chelsea have now lost to Troy 4 successive Premier League away games, winless in 7 on the road, and they were really poor going forward, weren't they?
Yeah, very toothless going forward. You're going to see a lot here now. They don't have Nicholas Jackson or Cole Palmer in this game, but they did try and press with Enzo Fernandez, or he gets through. But me and Wayne just noticed when we watched this game, if it was kind of snatched and dragged, like he's never set there, never looks like he's going to go and score. Again, lovely ball over the top. Look, they're out there through Sancho. If they had a striker, they'd be in the box for the card. Neto pulls to the edge of the box here. As it comes back to him, he's never set. Look, there's loads of bodies in front of him. Snatches at it. And Nkunku snatched at it again. It finally works all the way to Cucurella. And I think David Raya thought, you know what, let me try and help him and throw it in my goal, see if they can help. But if you look, they're shooting in these areas. It's more from hope than actually going with any intent to do it again. Enzo again doing that there. But Neto, a winger, you'd expect him to move the centre-half here. He does it, tries to shoot through. And this was the one really that summed it up for me with Neto. Look, you've got the centre-back backtrack. You get at him, he does it, he hits it over wide. And then, Wayne, you noticed this, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I just thought, it's in the 91st minute of the game and Chelsea need the goal, obviously, to get back in the game to try and get to come away with the points. But there was no movement. We've highlighted the attacking players here. There's a lack of movement, a lack of creativity, a lack of invention, and the tempo's slow. And then eventually, Arsenal in a good shape. They try and force a pass. Arsenal win the ball, get control of the game again, and see the game out comfortably. So I just felt there was no real desire to push Arsenal and try and get something out of the game towards the end.
Yeah, and look at this, lowest expected goals under Enzo Maresca, Troy.
Yeah, and I think it's a very cheap line to say, no Nicholas Jackson, no Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer played through a lot of these games, and when they're not good, Chelsea, they don't look like they're going to score, and that's something they have to do, have a plan B.
Yeah. Let me just ask you then, Wayne, what you think, because Enzo Maresca said he thinks they're on the right path.
Yeah, no, I think, obviously, they've signed a lot of players, and it's still a very young team, and I think there's been some really good signs from Chelsea this season. I think just that lack of experience as a group is probably catching up with them a little bit, but I do think over the next couple of years we're going to see Chelsea elevating themselves again, getting towards the top of the league again.
And of course they are missing Cole Palmer, we have to remember that.
Yes, but Cole Palmer's been off the last couple of weeks as well, so maybe he's been carrying injury, maybe a lot of games it's hard for a young player to keep doing and being consistent. Nicholas Jackson is a big one for them, but again, for over £1 billion spent to only have one striker in the building is pretty poor, so something they're going to have to rectify going forward. And if they want to be challenging, and this man can talk to it a lot better than me, but you need a proper goalkeeper and a proper centre-half, bits of the pitch that I think they need to...
That's true, they need a spine, don't they? A bit like Arsenal, really. That's the reason why they're 12 points behind Liverpool.
Yeah, you do. Well, if you look at Chelsea throughout the years, obviously Peter Cech, John Terry, Makelele, Drogba, Lampard, you've got the spine of the team is solid and experienced, and they ran the team, they ran the dressing room. Chelsea at the minute don't have that, so I think it will take a bit of time, of course, but I do think they're on a good path.
OK, good stuff.
Let's go back to the Emirates. Let's speak to the man who won the game, Mikel Moreno, the match winner. Mikel, good to see you. How good does that feel today, winner in the London derby?
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, it feels amazing, always winning at home, even more in a London derby against a really good side. I think we are really happy. It was a tough battle today, 1-0 win for us, clean sheet again. So yeah, buzzing for the result, and hopefully we can get a momentum after this game. And luckily for us, we have now international break, but well, it's more time to, savor the victory.
Mikel, how are you finding having to play up front, having to use different style into what you're normally used to, and having the pressure of having to be the guy that maybe scores the goals for us?
Yeah, I mean, it's way different to playing as a midfielder, but I don't feel that pressure